All right then.
When people
Hello.
when people pop in.
Let's start the event. The event has
Yes. Oh
started.
yes.
Woo.
The Discord, all the tabs,
It
all
just
the
kind of
things.
it started on its own, which is
Ooh,
neat. Unless someone else did
fancy.
that for me. Shout out to that person who did that if they did that.
We got
I'm just gonna
thank you,
send a little
Finch.
announcement.
We've got a little
Thank
doc
you.
thing already pinned. He's ready.
Beautiful. I'm
Yes,
gonna
hello
make a little,
everybody.
little announcement. Very nice. Thank you, Finch.
Yes, thank you. Beautiful mod team in all the aspects. Everywhere. Great mods.
I'm gonna let campers know.
Yes. Beautiful. I'm so excited.
The stream is live. Come hang out with us.
Yes. We see you,
To
Finch.
do some very short writing. That is the aim for today. Very, very short writing. Hello!
Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Nat.
Ned. All the hearts. Woo!
Hello, Podcast Book Club.
That wasn't me this time. I have so many Twitch accounts everywhere. I have to balance all of the things. It's so fun. We're all so excited. I'm pushing this out to some other content creation places I'm in just because I think
Oh,
I learn how to
nice.
write a story. I'm also being my cat is all over my stuff. Not breaking and entering for real. PK is trying to climb on my lap excessively, so I apologize if he hears scuffling noises, everybody. He just won't get out of here.
PK
Okay.
can just join in on the writing
He
process.
can.
Oh,
Thank you for the
apparently,
update. Is that slightly better volume-wise? I need to get a new microphone. I'm tired of dealing with this thing. I had it set lower because I was recording screaming earlier this week, so I had to turn my gain down a lot. I did a lot of screaming.
That's fair. I mean, I'm not sure if that's a microphone issue particularly. I think there might be something you'd encounter with most microphones.
I think so. Can I have your screams? Yeah, I can send you the screams. It was crying and screaming. Shout out to Toby and a really fun little thing I gotta do.
How is everyone doing today?
Yeah.
New alarm sound? Okay.
New alarm sound? Oh, I can get you with those. Hi. I don't know if anybody remembers when like the end of like whatever Stranger Things season was, where the guy kept going like "Chrissy, wake up," and there was like that remix
Yeah.
audio of it. I have that as an alarm sound on my phone, and I forgot about it the other day, and now it's my new morning alarm because it's hilarious.
It's beautiful. I don't
Truly
like
delightful.
this.
Chrissy, wake up. Good night.
Hey, hello.
Hello, everybody. We're just being silly and having a great old time over here.
Yeah. I'll give it another minute or so before we get
Yeah.
into the teaching.
Yes, it looks like we've got about 10 folks
Um,
here, which is so exciting. Welcome to the party.
yeah. Thank you for showing interest in this.
Yes.
I am a teacher, like, that is just my job, straight up.
Straight up.
So applying some transferable skills here.
The sound started annoying
I
because
have
people
many
would
interests,
spam
thank
that.
you.
That's true. Also, hello, welcome in, Yankee.
That's
We're
true.
doing
It was
a
everywhere.
very, very fun little thing today. Teaching after teaching. Colon the
Yeah, I was
natural
teaching this
habitat.
morning.
I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and just for the sake of the VOD, I am gonna get rid of the chat box so we don't have it covering up the presentation. I forgot about it being there.
That's fair.
But yes, also welcome in Yankee. We're doing a little bit of a flash fiction like writing workshop thing. So you guys are also gonna get to help us write a little story. Cole will explain in better detail. I am not the teacher. Cole is the teacher. I'm just the guy that does Twitch.
Hey, it wouldn't be if I was just here, just talking to the void. I don't think this would work out so well. I don't have that natural Twitch streamer type ability to just talk to nobody.
Yeah. Also, hello, studios.
But yeah, I think we can get started then.
I agree.
Since there's quite a few of you guys, so thank you guys for showing up.
Whoop, whoop.
I really appreciate that. So yeah, audio drama flash fiction. Let's start with flash fiction. For those of you who don't really know what flash fiction is, it's an incredibly short story. I'm talking like 250 words, 500 words. That's the kind of ballpark you want to go with flash fiction. And since we have a 96-hour podcast creation event, which involves writing an entire script within that 96 hours, I thought it might be a good idea to show you guys one method you can use to create a very short story to avoid ending up what I do every single jam event, of which there's been two, in which I just make a 30-minute script and then suffer. So we're actually gonna, circumvent that. But yeah, it's based off the teachings of Mary Robinette Kowal. So I'm going to be looking at some writing theory here, but it's mostly going to be overview. If you would like a more in-depth look and a greater understanding of the various techniques and things that we're going to be looking at during this workshop, I would really recommend checking out her work on Brandon Sanderson's YouTube channel. On the next slide, I'll be able to show you guys exactly where to find that. But yeah, let's go. Oh, one more thing. It has been pinned in chat. Thank you, Finch. You can get access to the slides that I'm showing you right now if you just hop over to the pinned link in the chat, and you can follow along there too. All right, let's go. So, writing short stories. This guide is designed for the 96-hour time limit, like I said, of the PBC PodCamp event, but it can be used by anyone who wishes to create short-form audio drama. So if you've ever had an interest in making like some kind of like 5-minute episode, maybe even less, or a 10-minute episode, and that feels complete and finished, this might be helpful for you. It's based on the teachings of Mary Robinette Kowal in Brandon Sanderson's 7th 2020 creative writing lecture at BYU. If you just pop that into YouTube, it'll come up. I recommend the entire series, honestly. Brandon Sanderson, very famous author, literally just did a whole creative writing course at that university and then just uploaded it all onto YouTube for free. So it's an incredible resource. So I'd really recommend checking that out. But specifically, that lecture will help you a lot with anything I gloss over, because I won't be looking at everything in depth today. But yeah, so watching the full lecture on YouTube will help with further understanding. But let's get into it. So there is maths. I have put maths into your English workshop here. What we have is this formula up here, which is what Mary uses to figure out how long a story is going to be. And the way that she does that is she puts in how many characters there are, how many stages. Now, a stage refers to like a scene, or then times that by 750 and times that by how many mice elements she's got. We'll get into that later. When I say mice, I'm not talking about animals here. But we'll get into what I mean exactly here later. And then she divides that by 1.5. It should be noted that she uses this to calculate how long a written story would be. So this would give you a word count. We're applying this to audio drama, and because this isn't like tested, I don't have any case studies for this. I can't give you any like exact idea of how many like script pages you're going to end up with depending on this formula, but it gives you an idea of like what elements in your story are going to make your script exponentially longer. If you have 3 characters, for instance, especially in audio where they're probably having conversations and bouncing off each other, it's going to end up being a much longer story than one with like 1 or 2 characters. Same with the stages too. Yeah.
Yes, I can remove my reactive. I'm sorry, I am blocking text.
It's okay. I didn't make these. Well, I actually did make these slides in preparation for streaming, but then I forgot that we would have to be in places.
Yeah, we were gonna
So it's
originally have them on individual pages, but we realized the text was too small for y'all to read, so we did that.
yeah. All right.
And
So
then once again, you can find the link to the presentation so you can keep along, take notes if you want to.
yeah, if anything, like if you can't see anything here, or if you want to linger on a slide that I've gone past already, you can grab them in the chat, and I will be releasing them into the PodCamp chats too once we've done with this. Okay, time for the fun stuff. Let's get going. This is where I want you guys in the chat to get involved. So when we're going to start with the beginning, oddly enough. And in the beginning, we immediately, as soon as possible, want to establish 3 elements. The first one is, who is your character? Now, we're making something short. We're going to use archetypes and implication to carry most of the details of the character because we don't have a lot of real estate to get into backstories and complex ideas and things like that. So we're going to leave a lot to suggestion and letting the audience use their own minds to fill in the blanks. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need a shorthand epithet to get an idea of your character's attitude and who they are. For example, they could be a naive camper, a confused pirate, or an excitable journalist. So, everyone who's in chat right now, I would love for you guys if you could send in a bunch of adjectives and a bunch of like jobs or types of people so we can create a main character together.
And I have a notebook if you need me to write this down. I've got one with me. I can write things down.
I would appreciate that.
Of course.
So yeah, if you guys could just send in a bunch of like adjectives and a bunch of jobs, anything like that you think would be interesting
Okay,
for a main character. Aggressive. Let's go. So that's an adjective. Marketer, an aggressive marketer. You know that kind of makes sense.
That's like most marketers, I feel like. Okay, aggressive marketer. That's a fun one.
Aggressive marketer, that works. So you can see by using this already we have an idea of when you're starting to think about this, you're like, I know who this person is. Heinous.
Elegant, heinous,
Elegant. Severely aggressive.
I think that's trying to tell us something. Let's get a couple of jobs.
Throwing in another adverb in there. I like elegant. Any other types of people we could work with here?
This is true.
Got marketer. People pleaser. Ooh.
Is that an occupation?
I think
we could make it an occupation.
Yeah, you.
I heinous people pleaser is funny.
That could be a person. I mean, you could turn it into an adjective by turning it into like people pleasing.
I'm gonna do elegant shop assistant.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yep, and then a heinous people pleaser.
We also have zombie musician knocking about here. Yeah, I like these. These.
Is zombie an adjective? Could we use it as an adjective? Is zombie a job? Because like zombie is, I mean, you could be like a zombie. It's disqualified. A disqualified.
Disqualified zombie.
Disqualified musician.
It's beautiful. But yeah, so we've got quite a few ideas going here, and if we just combine these adjectives and these types of people and these, it's a subgenre of mukbang.
Zombie musician. I think we'll add that one.
That's beautiful. So what we get here is immediately when you just tell people, like for example, zombie musician, immediately you've got an idea for what that character is. Or if you like put ahead like an aggressive marketer, okay, I've got an idea for who this person is. And most importantly, you now have an idea for how they're probably going to act in your story. Now, the next thing you'd want to do after you've decided who your main character is going to be is then you would establish their action. What are they doing? But I think this might be a little bit easier to do once we know where they are and perhaps what the genre is. So the next thing we need to establish very quickly is the setting. Now, the way that you're going to get across the setting without spending too much time on exposition and having characters explain things is that we're going to link to a key sensory detail. For example, if we are by the coast, can we hear seabirds and crashing waves? If we are in a haunted manor, can we hear creaking floorboards and distant wailing? Those kinds of things that immediately tell you where the character is. So let's have a look at some possible settings. I'd like to turn to you again, chat, and if you could just throw out any random settings. We've got our examples: the coast, a haunted manor, just anything like that. If you could send some suggestions into the chat.
And I'm writing everything down rapidly, so recycling center.
Recycling center. Ooh.
Special.
Cave is iconic. 2 caves.
2
Ooh.
caves.
Double the cave.
All the caves. The caves on the mountain, etc.
Mars.
Ooh, that's a
Ooh.
fun one. Very, very space specs coded. What if having immediate sensory overwhelming sense of pirate ship?
As if it like might be overwhelming. I think it's more if it's the case of like the worry that the immediate sensory detail might be overwhelming. I just more mean to have some kind of background noise that tells you where they are. So if it was the coast, it could be like the sea, gentle waves, or something like that.
I'm
Abandoned
just
mall.
popping these out.
These are great.
Movie theater, boat. Are we counting Santa's lamp? Is that a
Um,
setting?
I mean, Santa's grotto would be the setting, and I guess the character action would be the fact that the character is currently on Santa's lap.
I guess I'll write it down. I have 9 settings. I think we've got plenty.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think we can stop there. Even
The
though these are
DMV, actually,
very
I'm adding that one. That's fucking funny. This is why I tag things with curse words. I already can't. I can't. Big
Okay, I'm
marketplace
gonna
and you're
stop
here.
accepting.
Market.
We're gonna put a pause on accepting settings now, but those are absolutely beautiful. I'm quite attached to the DMV. I mean, I think that's very American, so I'm not 100% on like how that works exactly, but I've seen enough like skits.
It's obnoxious and horrible, and the skits are correct. Actually, sometimes the skits are better than the DMV itself.
Wow. Okay, so and then after that, the next thing that is really important for us to establish is the genre. Now, when we're establishing the genre, we want to give the audience a unique and specific detail to indicate the genre. For example, let's say you're doing a fantasy genre. A pretty common iconic thing to have in a fantasy is a castle. So if the scene is in a castle throne room, immediately the audience will know, hey, it's probably either medieval or fantasy or something like that. However, a castle throne room isn't exactly super unique. So it'd be good to get something a little bit more specific. For example, the secret passage hidden behind the throne is a bit more unique than just the castle throne room. So
It lets it stand out because genres are so everywhere.
absolutely, that's exactly the case. So let's think about some genres. Has anyone got any fave genres that they want to put forward?
I'm waiting for horror to be sent in immediately. Isekai is fun.
Isekai?
Isekai, I love that. I actually have a D&D character in my party that is isekai'd into D&D, so that's very interesting right now.
Mm. The
Everybody
immediate
likes
support of
isekai.
Isekai.
It's a great media. It's an amazing thing.
I like a reverse isekai, which is where like, some kind of fantasy person ends up
Given
in the
them like
normal world.
modern world, I like that too. As long as it's not her.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
I agree with you with that one. I'm gonna
To be fair, the multiple characters are our enemy in this case. Because
transmigration.
the more characters you add, the longer the story's going to be. So,
Mm.
how antithetical to the
Says
flash
yes,
fiction.
exactly. liminal, isekai, transmigration, uh, folk horror, liminal and folk horror. Thank you. I love liminal horror. I wish there were more liminal horror audio dramas. Wink, wink. Everybody, write, please, please.
I'm not actually super familiar with the liminal genre. Could you tell me a bit about it?
It's just that like liminal spaces, like the backrooms kind of thing, like that feeling. I
Hmm,
feel like that's obviously a very visual genre, but I feel like it'd be interesting to see how it's done more auditorily. Western, thank you.
that's
Hey, I did a
interesting. Yeah.
steampunk show. Steampunk is fun. What's
What's
the
that
horror
horror
with the
with
old
old
tech?
tech?
Yeah,
The old
dystopian.
tech is in
Thank
the
you.
name.
Analog. Finch hit me with all
There
of the good horror genres.
we may end up going horror.
Yeah, I think we have mainly horror, except for isekai and western and steampunk, I guess.
And steampunk, yeah.
Retro sci-fi. That's a good one.
That is the aesthetic of Valdivian.
Truly
It's so I love retro
supernatural
sci-fi.
thriller.
Dean and
Supernat
Sam.
thrill.
We just do a fan fiction.
Supernatural Mitch. We actually just write fan fiction. I still haven't
That'd be
seen that
interesting.
show, and I think I
Me
just need to
too.
live my life just watching the out of context clips from it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if we chose to do that in this workshop, given that neither of us have seen it.
Has seen it. That would
Um,
actually be really funny. We should do that
all right
sometime. I'm writing
then.
that down.
We should.
That's actually really funny. Hold on, I'm writing that down.
All right. Now we're going to pause there. So now we've got a bunch of different genres, different characters, and we've got different locations. Now for this stream, we're going to have to focus on one for each of these. For those of you who are in the chat, though, if you'd like to follow along and create your own story, you absolutely can.
Should
As we
we
make one on the stream.
run a poll to pick? We can run polls
Ooh,
so yeah. Do you want to do that?
yeah, that'd be fun. Absolutely.
Okay, let me run a poll really quickly. So you're gonna pop up on your screen, folks, and then you should be able to. Where's the poll button? I know what I'm doing. I promise. I think it's just slash poll.
Oh, my cats are gearing up to fight. Bear with me a moment while we make some polls and I separate a cat fight, literally.
Yeah, literally. I should have grabbed some like soft background music. I didn't think about that till just now.
While you talk about, while you set up the polls, actually, thinking of, I'm going to explain a example that I did yesterday when I was doing a test for this workshop. Location middle of cat fight. We did a test and we did two characters. We're going to be doing one character today, but we did two characters, and those characters were, if I remember correctly, one of them was a depressed necromancer, and the other was a manic chemist. And they were in Aldi. So immediately the sensory details were like the beeping of the cashiers, the sound of like the aircon and things like that. Because it's Aldi specifically, the cashiers going fast as they possibly can. And then the genre we ended up with was like a rom-com, which was fun. Yeah, Nat says iconic. Nat was present for that workshop.
Wonderful. Oh, you know what? I can't do a poll because so we've been having an issue with the book club's Twitch where it won't let me and one other person have access to the affiliate things, which poll is an affiliate thing. So I can't like add emotes, I can't do anything. So it's not working. So we might have to do a poll in a more traditional sense of I'm just gonna have to count the audience.
Yeah,
For whatever reason. I need to figure out how to fix that. I will fix it
that's
for
okay.
next
Or
time
we could
though.
just randomly pick, I
We
think.
could just randomly
So
pick. I like democracy,
let's
but
have
I
a
also
look.
let people pay for democracy when I do stuff because you can pay for extra votes, as I think it's funny.
All right. I mean, personally, I do
Oh, weird.
like I feel like aggressive marketer is a strong character.
It really is.
We immediately know who that person is. So I
Yes.
feel like that one. And then we have the location for this aggressive marketer. Now, we could go for a location that it makes sense for an aggressive marketer to be in.
You want to do a
Or we could just
wheel
go with something
spin?
random.
They suggested a
Ooh, a
wheel
wheel
spin.
spin.
You know what? I like the way you think. Let me pull up a wheel. I totally forgot about wheel. Oh, I bet you guys can hear my stupid opera keyboard sounds too. I'm so sorry. That's my fault. It's about to be...
It's all good. Yeah. Crunchy.
Yeah. Zombie musician. Okay. I'm going to
Time for
very
some.
quickly... I think I have to show it, yeah? Let me change
Mm-hmm.
that capture for you guys. To
Behind the
my
scenes.
link of 10,000 tabs. All right. My opera of all book club things.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I not as
It's
bad
time to
test.
go.
Elegant shop assistant.
Ooh, has it already come through for you?
It
Oh,
has.
delay.
You might have a
Oh,
delay.
elegant shop assistant. Okay, let's start. We got an elegant shop assistant. All right then. And next one, let's do. Let's do location. If that's all good.
Oh, I hope that's all good because I already started that.
That is very good.
And don't
Yeah.
just ignore my spelling, guys. All right. I'm really bad at spelling and typing. Boat.
To be fair, me too. And because I use all of my spelling concentration when I'm teaching.
Yeah. Well, I'm some people here have seen how I type, Finch, and I type in the most heinous way you could ever possibly imagine, which is like with like 3 fingers because I never learned how to type, so I just like make do. I type fast enough. I just have a bunch of errors all the time. But we'll go ahead and spin that wheel.
Let's go. What is that?
Hold on. It might flip.
Oh,
Recycling center.
recycling center.
Yes. Okay.
So we got like was it an elegant
Shop assistant.
in a recycling center? I'm also gonna make notes.
And then I'm just putting how I have it in my notes, which is sup nat thrill for supernatural thrilling, because I was writing it by hand instead of with notes. All right, I'm going to spin that one as well. Well, this will be interesting.
What is it?
Western at a
Oh,
recycling
Western.
center.
It's a Western recycling center.
It is a Western recycling center, it would appear.
They are like recycling boots.
Boots, yes. Add demons. Add demons. Honestly, perfect solution. You're so right. Elegant shop assistant wear, recycling center, genre of Western. The tumbleweed is plastic. That could be cool, though. That's just Oklahoma. You have such a good point. Good point there.
All right,
So
let's
true.
think about that. So, elegant shop assistant. All right. Where? In the recycling center. What are the key sensory details we can do for a recycling center? Perhaps we can have some kind of. Now, I've not actually been to a recycling center. I do recycle, but I've never been to a center. I'm imagining machinery. Am I on the right track?
Yes.
Okay. Machinery. Maybe if we want to get more specific and make sure that the audience knows exactly where they are, there can be a intercom that makes some kind of recycling center announcement. To really get that across. Trucks on and offloading, that's good. Big bins.
Yeah, so
Genre
it'd be
for it to be
like,
Western.
I think the bins and the trucks are actually just horses with carriages. So I think
Yes.
vague horse noises, um, probably like horses and carriages. Yes.
Mm.
I'm thinking about like combining all of these to like make it all Western themed, or is it just like a Western themed modern civilization? Those are your two questions we have to answer, I guess.
I like the first one, which is where we're
Luster,
making it Western. So
yes.
yeah, we're gonna take these
Luster, the gigantic horse.
elements of the recycling center and Westernify them. I think for a classic Western, we're also gonna need those classic like Western style accents
Mm-hmm.
in the US. So
Oh,
my accent will not
I
be
can.
present for this one.
Oh, I can make it present for you if you'd like. I can do that. I'm quite good at it.
Perfect.
Being American and all that nonsense. Hold on, my dogs are barking. Give me 1 second.
So perfect. So we've got those sensory details, and then to indicate the genre, we can transform those sensory details by adapting them to the genre that we have. All right, that's really good. I'm gonna wait a moment. Main characters are bad at ecological solutions for disposing of those evildoers. We really like
Amen.
these evildoers.
Yeah, something about demons and evildoers, and I mean, it's funny.
Hmm,
That's funny. I like it.
that is funny.
Yippee.
All right, let's go on to the next part. So Um, we're going to be having a look at conflict. Now, we're not going to start thinking about what the conflict is until we get to the next slide, because that next slide will help you guys decide what the conflict actually will be. So, you've got to figure out what is your character trying to do and why, and what is stopping them. This is where we introduce something called the try-fail cycle. It's what it sounds like. The character tries to solve their issue, but they fail. And they keep trying to achieve their goal and they fail a couple times. Because it's a short story, we don't want them failing endlessly. So give them like 3 or 4 fails, maybe 2. Techniques like yes but no and are super useful here. If you're not familiar with this technique, the original lecture goes into way more detail on this. But the basic idea is that if your character succeeds at something, yes, something wrong happens, there's a new problem. But yes, I succeeded, but now there is a new problem. And then we have no and, which is where, oh no, I have failed, and there are more problems as well. It gets worse. So going through that kind of plot structure is helpful here because you don't want your characters to succeed because as soon as they succeed, the story is over. The failures don't need to be complex either. For example, trying to ask a question and then getting snubbed is a try fail. So the key thing when making your short story is that you do not need to have these grand, epic problems and these grand tries and fails. I mean, you can if you want, but they can also be small as well. And we're going to determine what the conflict should be by using the mice quotient, which is what I talked about earlier. It's time to finally reveal what that actually means. Mice. The mice quotient identifies plot threads. Each mice thread in your story will make it much longer. Now, you can break down pretty much any story ever into a collection of mice threads. If you're interested in this theory, I really recommend watching the original lecture that I talked about at the beginning and we'll talk about again at the end of this presentation. Because Mary Robinette Kowal is amazing in relating these to examples, and she puts it forward like code with embeds and things like that. And she has like a formula similar to what we had earlier here for how these work. We don't have to concern ourselves with that because we're only going to do one thread because we're going to do a very short story. And these are the types of threads we could have. M stands for milieu. And milieu plots are about trying to move from one location to another. So the plot ends when you achieve that. So is your character trying to escape or navigate a place? In that case, your conflict should be centered around stopping them from leaving. And as soon as they successfully leave, the story is complete. I stands for inquiry, and inquiry plots are complete when a question is answered. So is your character trying to answer a question? If that is the case, your try-fail cycle should be all about blocking them from answering that question, and as soon as they do have the question answered, then the story is over. And then we get to C for character. Now, character plots are all about character development. They are internal. They're about the problems that your character has with themselves, their personal relationships, and things like that. So let's say your character is unhappy, and by the end of the story, we want them to be happy. So that means that your conflict should be centered around making them unhappier. And then we get to E, which is event. Event plots are about external factors that affect the character's world. So they're kind of like the opposite to character stories, where character stories are very internal. Event stories are external, things outside of the character's control. So, for example, if your character is trying to change the status quo or the sense of normality, you should make more things go wrong. If the world is ending, make the world end faster. Things like that. And as soon as that change is able to happen, as soon as the world is no longer ending in that example, the story is complete. So now we've got to figure out which of these stories is our elegant shop assistant going to be embarking on in this Western recycling centre. Let's have a think about that.
Yeah.
If we have a look at Milieu, for example, are they like stuck in the recycling centre? That could be the case.
I think they're like the shop assistant at the recycling center. Maybe that could be interesting.
Ooh, that is fun, and that makes sense too. So let's have a look at it. So in that case, they could have a question. Maybe a customer has come over with just the most bizarre question ever, and the shop assistant is like, I don't know how to answer that. Let me try and answer that. Oh, the manager isn't answering the phone. There's nothing about this on the computer system. This wasn't covered in the employee handbook. I don't know what to do here. Something like that.
Quills also had a suggestion trying to recycle cursed cowboy boots that turned up in the shop, so they're there to recycle something. That could be interesting as well.
That's fun. So that definitely would be a milieu plot. It could possibly be an inquiry plot because it's like, how do I recycle these shoes?
Yeah.
How do I do this? And then we have the character plot, which would be if the shop assistant is dealing with some kind of internal problem. And then, of course, the event, which would be, well, I suppose you could argue that the cowboy boots, depending on the angle that you take, could be an event as well, because it's like outside. You're trying to deal with these cursed boots, and you don't know how. And all of your actions are going to be trying to deal with them until you're able to deal with them in the end. So that's all different ways we could do this. I'll give you guys an example that I talked about before with the necromancer and the chemistry teacher in the Aldi. Their plot was a character plot because they were dissatisfied with their jobs. The chemistry teacher no longer wanted to be a chemistry teacher, and the same for the necromancer. In fact, they were after each other's jobs. And that was like the kind of problem they went for. But yeah, so how do we feel? I quite like Quills' idea of trying to recycle cursed cowboy boots.
Yeah, that's fun.
Does anyone else want to throw in some ideas?
Yeah. Like witch hat, like what we do in the show. No.
I haven't seen that. I've seen the movie, but I've not seen the TV series.
Yeah, I haven't seen either. Vampires, right?
I like the cursed boots. I think everybody likes the cursed boots.
Yeah, the cursed boots is good.
Nice. So, now that we've established the problem, which is that the elegant shopkeeper, the shop assistant, I should say, has some cursed cowboy boots, we know what will finish the story. The story will end when the cowboy boots are recycled. So we know exactly what our character needs to do. And so we know what the try-fail cycles are going to be. It's going to be instances of our shop assistant trying to recycle the boots. What kinds of problems do you think might happen when you're trying to recycle cursed boots?
I think that like maybe it's the curse of like the boots just keep reappearing in the shop, like the thing that won't go away. That's funny.
Oh,
Any other
that is fun.
suggestions?
I like that though, because I imagine like the story could be almost like a montage of the character exercising various ways of disposing of things that get increasingly like ridiculous maybe in
Setting them
this
on
recycling
fire.
center. Like it starts off simple. For example, like somebody could come in, hey, we got this order to recycle these boots. Some of the other people are having trouble with it, but see what you can do. Recycle it the normal way, and then just it escalates from there as they keep
The
reappearing,
normal way.
whichever the normal way is. I like
They just
that.
resort to gunslinging at the boots until it. They're like, they will break. They're not indestructible cursed cowboy boots. They just like they destroy it and then they like, oh cool, we're done, and then they come back like after lunch. The boots are just like sitting in the same spot.
I can sense like just the biggest crash out from this
Oh,
character.
absolutely.
Which is fun because they're an elegant shop assistant. They're going to start very put together and very particular, very composed, because they're elegant, right? And then you're going to see their resolve crumble as they keep trying to destroy these
Cowboy
indestructible
boots.
boots.
We get it. We get it.
It's all good. So yeah. We don't have to talk about the particulars of exactly which try-fail cycles happen today. But if anyone does have any ideas for what our elegant shop assistant, what methods they could try to destroy these boots, I will gladly take some from the chat.
Yes.
Set them on fire. Yep, absolutely. Set them on fire. I liked your idea, Mark, where like they just shoot them.
Yeah. Listen, this is Western. You get the cowboy stuff. It's just bury them. Yes, bury. Let me read it wrong. Let me read it
Yeah.
in the accent.
Bury them.
Buried in boots.
Which makes sense because like landfill, for example, not recycling, so there's a bit of a moral quandary there. um Hydraulic press with pentagram carved on the end. I like that one.
Ooh, that is silly.
And no worries, Dark. I did read yours, but I wasn't 100% sure of what you meant exactly. Trampled by horse hooves. I like that. And also wearing them. So that's interesting. I feel like wearing them could be the success, like at the end, that could finish the
Because
story,
like
maybe.
the boots aren't done. They're still perfectly fine.
Mm. We have like an anti-waste message in this story,
Yeah.
even though it's at the recycling
Or like
center.
an upcycling message or something like that. That's already part of the message. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, like, at
it-
least in America, like, most of the things that get recycled don't actually get recycled. So, like, recycling
mm.
centers in and of themselves are not necessarily great either.
I love this actually. So there genuinely is a real impactful moral that we could put
We could
across
pay
with
with
this
this,
story.
yes.
I love that so much.
I love
Okay,
making social
so
commentaries. Ooh.
yes. So what we've got here is that the story's going to begin, and the elegant shop assistant receives these boots. I'm assuming at first they might seem quite normal, or they could be informed that they're cursed. Perhaps this is a pretty regular occurrence. We don't know. It depends on what direction we want to take. They try to get rid of the shoes through the normal recycling method. The shoes come back. Try a more heavy duty method, for example, like a hydraulic press. They come back. Try to destroy them using the trampling of hooves. They come back in pristine condition. set them on fire, they come back. Bury them, somehow they come back again. And finally, the big old crash out with the shootout happening. And then finally, you get to the point where the person is at their absolute wits' ends. Every sense of elegance the shop assistant once has left them. And then they just go, you know what? I'll wear them.
I'll wear them.
I'll wear them. I'll put them on.
Are you
What's the
happy?
big deal?
Are you happy now?
Yes.
I'm wearing them. Hello, Ollie.
And then once they wear them, we have to have some kind of thing that signals that the story is complete. So perhaps the curse could communicate to the shop assistant and be like, "Hey, thanks, dude. You win my curse."
You win my curse. You can't take these shoes off now. Curse of
Or I
binding.
would, or I think like something positive, kind of like, "Hey, so now that you finally warned me, and we're all good now. Either you got a couple options, they could be actually recyclable now, but that kind of goes against our message there. And maybe the curse is just happy to have found someone who will wear the shoes, and maybe they're really comfortable, and the
Yeah.
shopkeeper's like, you know what, I'll keep these.
Well, because that's the thing about cowboy boots. A good worn-in pair of cowboy boots is better than a brand new pair. The leather is soft, they ain't stiff. They're good boots. This is not even talking in a westerny, jokey way. That is my personal opinion about cowboy boots. I've owned multiple pairs.
That's perfect. That is the perfect ending there. We've got our message across. We've got our social commentary in there. We've completed the mice thread. That's the one that's really, really important here, is that you need, in order for your story to feel complete, despite being really, really short, is that you need to make sure that whatever you set up in your mice thread has been complete. Whatever question you had at the beginning, or the action, recycle the boots, I can't recycle the boots, needs to be complete. And I feel like that has been achieved.
I agree.
We've got a couple other ideas in here. I don't think I'll implement them just now, but I think they're quite fun. So the boots are cursed as not as a punishment, but like an item of legacy. So if the owner didn't kick it with the proper, and that's been flagged by the
Automod.
oversensitive censorship,
Yes.
it can't take off the boots. Nice. The
Yes.
NPC that's been stood in the corner and waiting for the character to put on the gear for the quest. Great! Now that you have your gear, here's your map for the adventure.
That's amazing. Me playing Red Dead Redemption.
That's so good.
Show us the
And then,
cowboy boot pics. I'll look for them.
yes. And then we have another suggestion from the same person, Goat. You can't take them off until you kick the bucket. Literally, you have to kick over a bucket. If that were the case, I think that should definitely, like, the cowboy
That's
boot should come from with a
hilarious.
note at the beginning. It's like, whoever shall wear me needs to kick the bucket or something at the beginning. And it's like, oh, how do I, like... It's a different
Physically
story,
kicking a
but I like that a
bucket.
lot.
That's
Yeah.
funny. No, that's good.
It's so fun.
Write that down. Write that down.
You can also soak brand new leather boots in water to form them to your feet. Nice.
You can also do that with shaving cream.
Oh, fun.
That's how I used to break in all of our leather stuff.
Oh, that is fun. This is the kind of stuff that our shop assistant needs.
To know.
That's why the
Yes.
shop assistant wants to recycle them. Perfect. All right then. So what we've got there, I'm going to stick to the story that I just put across to you guys there, which is quite simple. We're trying to recycle the shoes. Our try-fail cycle involves a bunch of trying to recycle, failing to recycle, and then finally succeeding by wearing the shoes and realizing that the shoes don't need to be recycled, and that's why they can't be recycled. So there you have it. That is a succinct story. Depending on how long you want the story to be, you just increase the number of try-fail cycles. You could have 3 methods. Normal recycling, one of the more extreme recycling, and then another method of recycling, and then wearing the boots. If you want it to be really short, if you want it to be longer, you can add all different creative methods of recycling. But yeah, we've got a short story. Yeah, and then you get to the resolution, which we've already kind of talked about. This is where the try-fail cycle completes with a try-succeed. If you were previously following yes but no and, that technique becomes yes and, as in succeed, and something good happens, or you fail, but something good happens. Like that. So yeah. And then the ending, just make sure that any mice threads you have are closed. This is how you're going to get across to the audience this feeling of the story being complete. If you have any mice thread open, um, even if the person listening to your audio drama can't place the finger on why it feels like the story is not complete, it will be because there is a mice thread open and it hasn't been closed. So that's really important to pay attention to. Again, if you'd like to have more information and a more in-depth understanding of what exactly mice threads are, I really recommend looking at the original lecture that this workshop is based on. So yeah, that is the end of the process. We have created a short story which we could then adapt into an audio drama.
Yay!
Woo!
Yay!
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody clap for Cole. Yay!
Thank
I
you.
try not to clap too loud so that my mic doesn't freak out.
But yeah, so happy camping, everybody. Remember to watch Mary Robinette Kowal's guest lecture on Brandon Sanderson's YouTube channel for a greater understanding of writing short stories. I have just done a very quick overview of all the techniques that she proposes, so I really do recommend. She explains them with examples from popular media that you will definitely recognize, like Star Wars and The Wizard of Oz, for you to be able to really understand what she's talking about. But yeah, I hope this can help you guys create your own short form audio drama. I'm not saying that you should absolutely use this method, but if you are coming up to the PodCamp event and you know you're the type of person who will write a long and sprawling story unless you can physically manage that, I kind of recommend this method. And also if you're the kind of person who maybe sometimes gets writer's block or isn't completely sure like about idea generation and things like this, I feel like following this method is a great way to come up with a story very quickly.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like we're not
and
saying you
yeah.
have to do it this way. We're just trying to provide resources for people who want to get into writing stories, who want to do things like audio, who want to do things like Offecon and camp, stuff like that. We want to like get you guys ready so you don't feel like you're drowning when it's time to start because camp is soon. Who's excited?
I'm actually so excited.
I am as
And we're going
well.
to be making something. So that's
Ooh,
fun.
yes, that's right.
There is a secret cabin. Shh.
Shh. A secret cabin in the woods. All right.
I'm joking. But yeah, so these slides will be available in the camp chat. I'll be sharing them there. They're also still pinned to this chat right now, although we'll be finishing
Yes.
soon. And also, as always, I assume you guys came from the Discord server, but for those who might be watching this VOD later on, I really recommend joining the Podcast Book Club via our Discord server. We do lots of fun things. Yeah, Muff, would you like to say anything about the Podcast Book Club and what we get up to?
Yeah, so like I was saying, we do a lot of events like Offecon, which is like a little audio fiction convention that we're going to be doing again this year. And then we have things like the Pod Jam, which is a lot like camp, which is going to be our 96-hour thing. But Pod Jam takes the course over about a month or so. So it's a little more spread out, more space to do more things, slightly bigger projects. But if you're not big on project things and you just want to be in like community with other audio fiction enjoyers, once again, a great place to be. We do. Yes, thank you for the server link, Finch. We have listening parties where we'll have like votes on like what shows we're going to listen to as a group, and then we'll do some other like editors picks and things like that. Just a great opportunity to not only grow as a writer and an audio fiction enjoyer, but also a great place to meet people who are passionate about the things you're passionate about. We all thrive in spaces like that, and we've created a small corner of the internet to exist with people who are passionate about the similar things, and it's a very lively place to be. So I recommend hanging out.
Yeah, I could not have put that more succinctly or better. That was a really good explanation of everything we get up to. That's really good.
Thank you.
But
I
yeah,
love this
everything that
place.
Moff said. But yeah, you can also find us at our website, which is podcast-bookclub.com. And we also have a Tumblr at podcast-bookclub if you want to check out what we do and more about us there, and also keep up with our socials. But yeah,
Yes.
thank you everybody who came to the workshop. I'm hoping that was helpful for some of you and that I got that across in a way that was understandable. Your suggestions were brilliant, and big thank you to Moth for running the technical aspects of this stream.
I'm giving a thumbs up. You can't see me, but I am.
And doing our polling, and also just to be here for me to bounce off of. So it was a bit, I can be a little bit awkward sometimes
You did a
doing this
great
stuff
job.
by
I didn't have to
yourself.
talk nearly as I didn't have to talk too much at all. It was even an amazing job. Yeah, thanks guys for coming. We'll be doing more Twitch stuff as we get along. I'm starting to try to find some games for mods to play so we can just like hang out with the community. Maybe we'll do another Jackbox night, but keep your eyes on that. Once again, book club's best place. Keep your eyes out for the things we'll be doing on Twitch in general. And then also you can follow us here to get notifications whenever we do stuff on Twitch too. So yippee!
Woo! Thank you
All
so
right.
much, guys.
Have a great evening.